rally tracks during that follow, guys. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for the support and giving these players the audience that they truly deserve while in the War Chief Club finals. So we're loading in to game 3. No observer delay. Spawning in the north of our last game of Rising Empires week number 28. coRe as the orange, playing as the Abbasid Dynasty, spawning in the south with a notably good spawn, playing as the Mongols in the color blue. It is Anotand.
Yep, absolutely. Now let's see. Abbasid versus Mongols. This should be favor for Mongols traditionally, but I don't know. Maybe Kor with his military wing opening is gonna be fine against the tower rush. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Now regarding spawns, Anton got a pretty good spawn, wood and golds, like right next to the TC, and the stone is all the way on the back, so it's difficult to harass. So it's pretty good. Now he's going for that barracks anytime soon. There we go. In the meantime, let's see, coRe just doing the standard opposite thing. He's going to be kind of light to the gold. So those spearmen will arrive soon enough to harass the gold. Yeah, see how it goes.
Yeah, I mean, the gold vein is a little bit forward. We know for Abbasid, as long as you get your 200 gold, I mean, some of the technologies obviously cost gold, your Fertile Crescent, your fresh foodstuffs, and like, but I think one of the more important areas to tower might be, if you are going to tower rush, would be more on the back side of coRe's base. You have stone. Your first outcropping is right here to try to get that second TC, and you have a wood line over here next to it too. So that could be a good towerable area now as we're getting into just about the second minute. Anotand going to be getting some of those Dark Age Spearmen. Actually pulling 2 villagers out here. What do you think about the 2 pull?
I like it.
Nice.
I don't know if he has scouted fully what coRe's base look like. Let me gonna check really quick. Reveal. No, he doesn't. He just saw the goal and he's like, okay, yeah, I'm super denying that goal. So he's going all in into the gold denial. I like it if he knew a little bit more about Anotand's base situation, but it's fine. Like, this means that the outpost is gonna go up no matter what because it just goes up too fast with 2 villagers.
And this is this is a cheeky tower up here. This is pretty forward. I mean, Spearmen back here are going to be able to get a torch on one of those mining camps. So if it does get burning, he'll get some of that raid bounty. But that outpost also stopping this wood line on the eastern side of coRe's base as well. Military wing not going to be able to be completed for another minute 2 seconds. Meaning, so these 2 spearmen and 2 archers, which would be very beneficial right now to stopping a tower rush, are only going to come in due time. So villagers pulling out their torches, they're like, this is my territory, get off my land. I'm going to be able to torch down that just a little bit, but you're right, Neri, with that second villager. It's going to get up with about, 575-ish health, maybe 600, and it's going to be safe.
Yeah, with 2 villagers, you need to pull basically all your villagers in order to deny that outpost. It's very, very costly. So if you pull 2 villagers, it's going up. It's going up. Now we see the second batch of spearmen coming through. Now, Anotand should identify that it's the military wing, the one that's coming up, and you should know this because, well, it's not the economy wing, it's not the culture wing, it's not the trade wing, so it has to be the military one.
Yep, it's all about what it looks like. Obviously, these wings look very different. Villager going to be able to repair that mining camp. Couple archers, couple spearmen coming out. These archers are going to be pretty beneficial. But let's see, just based on this tower's range, it's going to be able to take hits at that villager. Looks like it can only hit the House of Wisdom. Those archers near the town center, pretty safe. coRe looking around his base. You can see with that scout over here on the north side, just making sure he's not getting towered in that particular area. But for right now, he is safe. Doesn't necessarily have the gold to get some of the technologies that he wants, but as long as he doesn't lose much in the way of villagers, as long as it doesn't delay him too much, it's okay. But the age-old Mongolian thing in Season 4 now you tower, you tower rush, make sure they deny one particular resource, and then you silver tree behind it to start trading, and Anatand's doing exactly that.
Yep. I'm not sure how this will play out against that military wing opening plus this table. I'm assuming Anotand is not going to be able to trade quite as fast as he would like to, but eventually he should be fine just because this tower is just doing so much work. This tower is doing so much work.
I
And
mean,
he
what
has
is
a
the
very
nice
nice
thing?
honor
What's the
trade.
nice thing for the Abbasid dynasty is if they were looking to do something like make a ram, they have the ability to, if they really want to ramp down that tower. But core's going to lose a scout. Oh, never mind. Oh, now he did.
Yep,
Oh my god, he baited me, Anatan.
it was the fade away. It's like,
Yeah.
oh. Yeah, goodbye scout that keeps trying to make its way home with the long thread ahead of time. We could just look at this ship for the next 3 minutes. How about that?
Yeah, okay. No, I'm just kidding. In the background, we're seeing an Abbasid horseman come out, maybe try to get a little bit of rating what's going on here. Some deer patches over here from Anatan. Pretty indefensible. This villager, it looks like it's not doing anything. I'm not sure what it's doing. I think it was just idling, but a couple spearmen going to be able to make sure that those are safe. Now with the silver tree, obviously you're going to go for this market all the way on the south side, this neutral trade market. But then, as far as markets, I'm guessing you put it all the way on the east, right?
On this map, I'm not sure. Where do you put your second market?
I would say, I
Because
mean,
both sides is good because I guess the right side because it's farther away from your opponents very slightly. But I think both corners are perfectly viable and good. Yeah, definitely the right side because on the left side your opponent is gonna expand towards the left side because there's the deer and berries. So yeah, on the
yeah,
contrary to the right side, there's like nothing on that side of the map. Now the
exactly.
can about to go down. Yep. Goodbye, can.
Oh, GG. Everybody in chat. Wow, what a pivotal game 3 comes down to a con, ends up going down. But core second town center coming up on this deer patch over here in the back, going to try to get some kind of economic foothold. I mean, I see this age old in especially the beginning of season 4 before traders got nerfed by their little bit of percent. The Abbasid player tries to boom with their town centers. I mean, he did go military wing instead of economy, but trying to boom with another town center, but trade just ends up paying off so much quicker than the town center, and the town center never can catch up.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the main problem with trade right now. It's just it it's too fast. That's the problem. It's just too fast in paying back. Now we see Anatan doing a little bit of a trick, just shifting away the focus of all his traders to the market and then moving the market away. Now we see the ram coming from core. So he's like, I'm done with this. I really need his gold because I don't have access to any other gold. So he's making a ram and he's going to take this down. That one should, yeah, that tower is going down. Now on the flip side, we see core just adding more and more production. Like he's in a very bad position right now. This is not a good position if you're core. You don't have gold at all. Your food is okay. Your wood is kind of like bad. So you really need to get rid of this tower, but at the same time you need to attack your opponent because he's trading. So yeah, this is not a good spot if you're called. You feel pretty bad. And that ram actually didn't even manage to get a hit in because Anotand is doing a great job at zoning it out. So core is gonna have to commit more units than he wanted to. He's gonna have to commit all his units right now to try to take down this tower. Well, he just wanted to send the ram and forget about it. So this
Yeah, I
is
mean,
very awkward for him.
it really is being annoying more than anything else. I do want to stop you for a second and thank Cop for the raid. Cop, thank you, and Copites for the other people who are watching Rising Empires Warchief Club. If you don't follow Cop, you probably should. His English games are fantastic. Basically, every game he plays is fantastic. Top 25 slash 20
Wow, did you see
gamer,
that ram?
and that ram gets reduced to firewood
Yeah,
as soon as
that
it
was
tries to take
insane
down that
fast.
tower. Man, this outpost, core's got to be thinking in his head, man, that outpost sucks.
Yeah, that outpost really, really sucked. That outpost has done so much. Um, and look at that. Of course, like, okay, screw that outpost. I'm going home. I'm just gonna go grab another another gold because it's just too much.
I mean, you have to at that point. You spent so many resources, but and I do appreciate how Core isn't falling into the sunken cost fallacy. I mean, yeah, he spent a decent amount of resources on the Ram, and he spent a lot of resources on military units to try to do it, but instead of beating his head against the wall, and it probably would be difficult for him to actually stop it, he decides to go for this town instead. The thing of it is, this hardened Khan, I don't want to know what that actually means, if it's hardened, but an outpost going to be up with Core as the Khan scouts this gold vein.
Yeah, and now Anotand knows, and he can shift his attention back to these other gold. Now we see a little bit of a raid coming through from court to Anotand, but just killing one villager and not much besides that. Now the can goes down. I think in this. Okay, well, can goes down again. And Anotand is, you know what, says, okay, I've gotten more than enough value that I need, so I'm just gonna go back home. Just move my. No, never mind. He's going back to the gold. I don't know what I'm doing. Probably tired at this time of the day.
Sounds like you're tired at this time of the day, my friend, too.
I'm also tired at this time of the day, but
Core, using those horsemen all the way to the south, trying to pick apart a little bit of this trade route. However, a lot of these traders, it looks like one only full of gold with about 140 gold in it. This outpost from Core, there's a decent amount of spearmen here. There's a lot of horsemen. Almost ended up going down before Core ended up pulling his reinforcements from the north and started matriculating to the south. And I mean, look at this in terms of economic count right now. You have 2 town centers to 1 for the Mongols. This outpost finally starting to get burned. Thank God. My God, and how long that outpost actually took. For, the economy for Anotand, not that far behind in terms of actual count. So in terms of that town center actually paying off, I'm not really sure how much it even is paying off against this trade. Like we talked about how important that trade is. As long as they get a couple deposits, he's going to be doing okay. And at gold per minute, where he doesn't have to spend villagers to do so. Another battle coming out near the outpost. That outpost still not down. Aeroslit's going to be able to help it out. Those archers are going to start garrisoning in there. It looks like only 2 of those land units do have torches. There's a horseman, there's a spearman, and that's pretty much it. This outpost has been alive for the last 8 minutes, and when you're playing Age of Empires, 8 minutes feels like 3 years.
oh, absolutely. Now he's Core is like, okay, I'm pulling the villagers again. Now, 1 or 2 villagers should go down. The one with the low health. Now another villager should go down. A third villager, maybe. Yep, third villager goes
Nice.
down. That's a lot of villagers. That outpost just did so much this entire game.
Look at this cheeky outpost from Anotand Neri. Look at all of this
Yeah.
all the way up on the top near this trade post. This outpost probably going to end up getting arrow slits at some point once he gets the stone for it, and actually leaves it alone so it doesn't have any kind of damage fire off for Core. But I think when arrow slits comes in, that's going to be a couple dead villagers and at least some idle time as well. While meantime, on Core, he's still trying to, on this east side, trying to burn down that one market. Neri, we talked about it. This is not the first trade game we've seen today. These markets are pivotal, these neutral markets. If they don't end up staying alive, that is so massive, and a lot of gold is going to be left on the table.
Yeah, but Anotand already has horsemen on the way. That market might start burning, so he will need to pull a villager at least. No, never mind. The market gets saved. By the way, the outpost got noticed by Core and got taken out. Now those horsemen are should go down. Maybe one of them does. The second one, oh yeah, because they're moving at the same speed as the scout. The scout is definitely gonna die. He manages to save the horseman at the expense of losing the scout. Again, not nice having to rebuild the scout. He already has another one, so I guess he's gonna be fine in the meantime. Anotand, he's doing the 5 hit and he's moving the second market to the other corner.
So I'm going to point out this particular issue. of what's going on with Anotand right now. We're about the 15th minute, and Mad Matt actually pointed it out as I'm following this trader. Anotand, and I'll quote Mad Matt, Anotand fucked up his trade. And the reason how he did that is where the silver tree is and where the actual waypoint is. It's where the old market was before Anatan moved it directly to the corner. And if you see it on the east side, those traders are doing absolutely nothing but running the entire way and turning around with nothing.
Oh no, I
Yeah,
didn't notice. That's terrible.
yeah.
Poor Anatan.
I'm glad that as we saw that battle over here on the east side, I'm glad we actually caught that. I don't think Anatan is going to catch that for essentially the duration of this game. There's a lot of traders over here that's actually going to get a good deposit, but Anatan's got to be thinking at the 15th minute of this game, hey, why the hell am I not Castle Age yet? And it's because half of your traders are walking around doing God knows what, dicking around on their donkeys with a yam speed increase that's going to send them to nowhere anyway.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Anatan should have been so far ahead if he didn't mess that one up. Well, anyway, he's still in a really good position, by the way. He has complete map control, and the Avacid is completely under control. He hasn't been able to boom. It's only 3 villagers ahead. So
Gonna
he's
see
fine.
a little bit of an encounter coming in on the western side. Horsemen, spearmen, archers, rock, paper, scissors on both types. Archers from coRe raining hell on the spearmen. Looks like not that many in the way of spearmen for Anatan, but just enough horsemen with the spearmen going down from coRe, just enough horsemen to be able to take down a lot of these archers. We're going to see the archer count start to dwindle very fast. coRe pulling all of his reinforcements. I think this is the majority of his army. Spearmen going to be able to take down the 1 or 2 horsemen that's left, and for Anatan, the only thing he pretty much has is archers. There's 27, 26 total archers out of a military mass that's 28. He's got to get the hell out of there, Neri.
Yeah, he needs to get out of there, but Anatan is fine trading armies right now against coRe because he's getting more and more ahead because of the trade. So trading armies is not the end of the war for him. He's like, okay, fine, I'm losing villagers, I'm losing army, but it's not the worst. I can afford to replenish this because I have sustainable income in the form of trade.
He does have that trade, Neri, I agree with you, but if you're losing these big battles that consequentially, you could get that trade more exposed. And I think silver, or this neutral market, let me take a look at this neutral market, has a decent amount of traders to it. I don't see anything on the western side as well. Anatan's food economy starting to hit the toilet a little bit, only 150 a minute. I don't see any pastures back home. He was going on a lot of those outside Gaia food resources. This is going to be difficult for Anatan to recover, Neri.
Yeah, you said he was in a top position with the food, and then he just bought a bunch of food. He's fine.
Okay, well, you know what? I'll just, I'm just going to commentate on what I see. Not so much in terms of speculation, but horsemen going to be able to get around those Anatan archers, those Mongolian archers, a couple of them going down. Spearmen trying to be a front line for him. Now I think coRe is doing a little bit of overextending here. The only thing we have is an archer mass, not so much in the way of horsemen. We have outposts over here trying to take down some of these units, some villagers going down in the process. But with only one of these horsemen, it'd be really good to soak up a lot of that archer fire and some spearmen going down as well. coRe really took a good fight there in the beginning near that western outpost from Anatan, but I think that overextension costed him probably about 15 to 20 military units.
Yeah, it cost him very, very dearly. But again, Anatan is absolutely fine trading units again. And coRe is the one in trouble because he is the one forced into transition into farms this early, and without the economic wing, those farms are really, really expensive.
Yeah, they don't get that update, and it looks like Anatan is starting to chase no more. coRe turns his back and starts firing with some of those archers, has some horsemen in the back, not so much in the way of spearmen from Anatan, only 2 in queue, 0 actually on the battlefield, so soaking up a lot of damage. He does have the ranged armor upgrade, and Anatan does have the ranged damage upgrade himself. Attack speed arrow coming in from that con is going to make coRe retreat just a little bit more. I feel like for coRe, he's just buying time. He's got to wait for these farms to really get up and start generating, as we see back in his economy. About 48 villagers on food right now. If he's able to maintain this front and to hold to make sure a lot of his villagers don't end up dying, which looks like that's going to be the case, coRe's going to hit the castle button pretty soon.
Yeah, he's been looking to get into castle for a long time. He just haven't been able to, just because of the sheer amount of pressure that he's been through the entire game. Anotand, on the other hand, is just been focusing on building military. Now we see the castle finally coming through for coRe, the culture wing being queued up. Anotand is not that far behind into castle. He's gonna be starting that in the very, very near future. But we see the army starting to shift towards Anotand. It's a lot of archers still alive.
Yeah, I mean, this military count has been particularly neck and neck throughout the last 2 minutes of, I would say, constant fighting from these guys, and now Anotand probably with just 1 or 2 more trade drop-offs. He will be able to go Castle Age, I would imagine, with how many traders he has right now when hitting that button. I would guess Kurultai, and I have a 50-50 shot at getting it right, and I'll tell you what, Neri, I nailed it.
Absolutely, you nailed it. We are seeing Kurultai, very, very good landmark for the Mongols, especially when you have this much trade. Yeah, how many traders is he on? 34. That's a lot of traders.
Yep, that's what we would like to call a metric butt ton. Anotand does have some of these outposts that are continuing to be cheeky over here on the north side, and I actually think Castle Age is going to come up pretty much instantaneously from both players, maybe a little bit quicker for the Mongolians. Now, when you're transitioning to Castle Age for Anotand, gotta be starting to think about those armored units. He does have a decent amount of archery ranges around here. Not seeing anything else in the way of production. Oh, couple barracks, looks like 3 barracks, more archery ranges and stables. Anotand's actually pretty good on production buildings. He is a crap ton.
Yeah, Anotand is good on production building. He is lacking improved siege engineering, something that you absolutely need in this matchup because the opposite can build siege on the field, so you need to be able to do the same, or you're gonna fall behind very, very heavily in the siege war that will inevitably come just because both of you are just massing a lot of range units.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and I think one of the things as we're starting to mass up with these units and armored units coming in coRe, trying to get a little bit of raiding going on with horsemen, and these traders going to be able to garrison in those outposts. Anotand needs some stone, maybe get some springhold upgrades on some of those, but coRe, something that could be an issue for him as the game starts to go into that mid to late Castle Age. Only 1 safe gold vein of his left. It looks like he has another one on the east side, but I'm not sure how safe that's going to be, and another one all the way on the east, or the west side, excuse me, that can be under constant duress at that point as well. Anotand with 2,615 gold per minute. That's incredible.
Yeah, the problem is he has way too much gold. He's not been able to use that gold effectively because he's been buying so much food. The price of food is absolutely insane. 234 gold for 100 food. It's just very, very, very expensive. So he really needs to start adding more pastures. And there he goes. He start adding them. I just as he said that, and start shifting his wood economy into food, and then just start rallying back to the wood, because he can buy wood at this point because wood is still fairly cheap, but he cannot afford to buy food. It's just way too expensive right now.
Now, I mean, based on those market prices, if I'm coRe and also a stockbroker myself, if you see that while you're building a market, you can get gold for dirt cheap. And it looks like gold is what's kind of bottlenecking him right now in terms of production, just because of how many villagers he has on food and wood also simultaneously. So maybe he could rig the stock market and get a little bit of gold that way. But coRe looks like he's advancing with his Abbasid army, moving south. Couple of mangonels with him, adding some armored units with some lancers, a decent amount of veteran archers. They do have boot camp. I'm going to check really quick. He does have composite bows as well, which is going to help him out in a major way in this battle. While on the other side, Anotand trying to make Springholds. It looks like I only see one there and one currently getting produced. Hopefully they come in time before this battle starts. And this battle's going to start moving down right on the main town center. One Springhold going down for Anotand. That is huge. That's pretty much all the thing that these knights needed to do. Mangonel's going to be able to try to take hits on some of the range mass. One good Mangonel shot comes in, takes down a couple archers to about half health, but coRe in for Anotand on this western side. Even though he does have siege superiority, one Mangonel goes pop, and the second one will go down very soon. As long as he's able to keep this ranged mass alive, it looks like Anotand's going to wipe this up, Neri. This could be huge for him.
That coRe put so much work during that fight. It heals so much HP and did so much damage to that front line because coRe was really distracting, trying to take down the backline with his own range plus the Mangonels that he didn't even notice how many men-at-arms and lancers were on top of him. And that coRe boosted their mess so much that he just wiped the floor with it. Now we see a very, very small raid onto Anotand's food, but that's about to get cleared up really, really fast. A Lancer raid onto the trade line, but we're seeing just Anotand just going for the death push. He has a Springald, the coRe is on the way, and he just needs to add a little bit of siege, and he is going to put a lot of pressure onto coRe.
Yeah, and the Mongolians are so good at this death push. coRe bringing up the back. Hopefully, I would like to have coRe during this battle, but it looks like he's not going to be able to. Lancer's taken a lot of fire for coRe, really trying to help him out. coRe just going to go down, going to help those archers out, but I think there's just too many cavalry units. Neri, Anotand's got to back up. This might have been a little bit of an overextension.
Yeah, a little bit of overextension, and not fighting with coRe really, really messed with him. Now that coRe is back up, this is going to slowly shift towards Anotand's favor, but it's kind of a little too late, but it's still quite okay. Like, look at this. Like, when was the last time you saw archers taking down horsemen and lancers?
Like, coRe easily. Like borderline easily. These lancers are going down. I mean, look at how much damage these archers have. They attack at 1.62 seconds for attack speed. Veteran archers with 11 damage, even though coRe's archers and his crossbowmen are able to shoot a little bit quicker. They just don't have the damage capability that Anotand is able to. And during a fight which looked disastrous for Anotand, coRe actually spent a decent amount of resources to stop this from happening. Now he's going to back up that coRe Anotand does, and starting to move it to the south, but it is quite slow. coRe on the other side spending a lot of villagers. This looks like 20 villagers all the way down south, with a keep that's getting placed on this large gold vein over here, so he's actually going to be gold safe for the time being.
Absolutely. Now, we also saw coRe raiding the trade line with the 3 lancers. Those lancers ended up killing like over 15 traders easily. Like, Anotand is down to 30, and at some point there was a huge mass of dead donkeys on the ground that I just couldn't count how many of them there were. Now, the coRe about to go down. Anotand making a big mistake in not getting the improved movement speed for his back buildings. That would have helped both in the previous fight and running away with that coRe. So that's a big issue. Now we see him desperately trying to add a Mangonel to save his life. But this is not going great for him right now. coRe capturing the 3 sacred sites, and that's going to be very, very difficult for Anotand to clean up. Now we see all this cavalry wrapping around, taking down the siege and the range mass. Good Mangonel shot, but it's not enough. There are just so many units on coRe right now.
Yeah, and these horsemen and these knights finally get on this Mangonel on the back end of the archers. They are injured, but they are alive. That boot camp with only plus 12 health, you might not think it's a big deal, but it could mean the life of an archer and otherwise, as I'm clicking one at about 2 health still being there. Now coRe, he's continuing with, and I'm going to say this is probably the 3rd time I've said this in the War Chief Club stream, the best defense is a good offense. He has the map control, he has the archers, to help with the ranged mass of what's going on with Anotand. Military count 32 to 27. And as long as coRe is able to keep a battle going like this, as long as coRe is able to continuously produce as well, if not better than Anotand is, and it looks like coRe is able to because of his resource stockpile, I feel like with enough production buildings, he can consistently be pop capped if he wanted to. Just able to raid in, be in Anotand territory. It means those sacred sites never get decapped, and he wins in 9 minutes.
Yep. Now we see coRe trying to throw down a keep in the middle of Anotand's trade. If that goes up, Anotand is just not going to survive. Anotand is already just hanging by a thread. So, if this goes up, that might be the final nail into the coffin, because it's just, how do you deal with this? Like, you don't have any economy to deal with this, and yeah, you have no siege. Your army is basically non-existent. You're trying to build a traction trebuchet with a single spearman. So that's not gonna work. um,
No, absolutely not. But I think this keep actually gets denied. Anotand saving his game, saving the War Chief Club Finals for just a little bit of time, and actually cleaning up some of coRe's units over here on the front side. If that keep did go up, that could have been a huge issue. But now, with that going down, military lead for Anotand, 31 to 21, excuse me, and coRe is going to be continuing to endlessly produce. Anotand actually exacerbating all of his food resources. He's got about 1,800 per minute, but because of all of the units that went down and how much he has to be making, and all of these Lancers being so expensive as they are, it's going to take a lot of resources for him to do that, so he's going to need even more wood. coRe getting cheeky with some of these keeps. The Mongolian villagers are having nothing of it with their deer stones. Going to be able to track them down. Some of these archers going to be able to track down those villagers too. I think coRe's looking for that quote-unquote exclamation point to kind of end this series and to end the War Chief Club for this week in the form of keeps. He's just not getting it, Neri.
Yeah, he's not getting. Anotand is really struggling for resources. He's now moving to a new woodland that's very, very exposed near the front line, right next to his opponent army. The only thing he has going for him, he has a good food economy set up, but you can't survive just of food. You need either wood or gold in order to produce an army, and his trade has been suffering in recent times. Now we see another raid coming through. coRe is really fixated on this specific corner of the map with good reason. That's the drop-off market. If you get rid of that, Anotand's gold income is going to plummet.
Yeah, he did take down that sprinkled outpost that was such a thorn in his side. These markets, I know you're talking about burning down a building, but these are probably one of the flimsiest buildings in the game. It's going to be at about half health. I feel like if this market goes down, that could spell doom as well. We're watching it on the bottom of the screen, getting continuously torched. It is burning right now, as on your screen, on the main part of your screen, you are seeing this battle go on between Mongolian archers and crossbowmen lancers, trying to piece them apart by the Abbasid dynasty, and it looks like they might be able to do that now. Anotand did successfully lose that market. coRe is going to be able to pick it up. All of Anotand's gold economy, all of his traders are now running around not knowing what the hell to do, and we're going to see a screeching halt to Anotand's military production when that gold runs out.
Yep, Anotand just threw down a market in the middle of the route just to salvage some of the gold income so his traders don't go fully idle. But still, now he has to redirect all his traders that are currently on the silver tree back into the destination market, and now the lancers arrive here, and this is not looking good.
Nope, Lancers find it. Khan's dead. Give me a GG in chat. Looks like the only thing we have are some archers, some crossbowmen. Those crossbowmen nowhere near enough to try to take down these Lancers coming out from coRe. And remember, while all this is going, I know we're talking about the trade, and I know we're talking about the importance of it. Sacred's timer still ticking. 5 minutes left to go, and as long as coRe can keep doing this and keep annoying Anotand, keep taking apart that military production that the Mongolian machine was doing so well before. Now military count 57 to 10, gold for Anotand, a total of 31.
Oh, don't look at this. Don't look at this, Tim. Don't look at the traders. Oh no, this is a massacre. Oh Lord, just look at all those traders going down, and Anotand's like, yeah, I'm dead. I see. He sees the keep right next where he's going to place his Margus. Like, okay, I'm absolutely dead, and he taps out.
He gave it just about everything he could. Had a wonderful tower rush in Dark Age. That outpost stayed up for pretty much forever. It felt like villager count obviously high for court because of the extra town centers with Anotand just going with the trade. And actually, Core, even though he was going up against trade, even though he was going up against Mongolian trade, he was able to keep up the military count and do what the Abbasid does so well and just endlessly produce all of those units, even Lancers, some of the most expensive units, able to reproduce them once they were lost. And as you see military count at the end, that trade going down, military count at about 60 to less than, if not 10.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes you think, how would that game turn out if Anotand didn't make that critical mistake at the beginning, in which his traders were not doing anything for like 4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a very, very difficult game, probably. Anyways, well played by Core. I see you in the chat. So, yeah, well played. I think you shouldn't have left that Baltic game, but I guess you didn't want to play another 40-minute Baltic, and I respect that.
Yeah.
So, congratulations on being this week's Warship Glove winner. And yeah, it's been a fun day.
Yeah, the winner of Rising Empires week 28. Course says, fuck Baltic. I don't blame you, dude. I don't do the water maps, the hyper maps that well either. Now, even though Core won week 10 graduations, obviously second to Anotand. Anotand had a fantastic showing, taking Core to 3 games. All of these games were fantastic to watch, and if you didn't watch some of them before, I highly recommend you watch the VOD, check them out. And I do want to say at the end of, usually when at the end of casting War Chief Club, especially the finals, just because of these players being as good as they are, I want to thank you for actually joining in the qualifiers and joining into the finals, because not only do you make these Rising Empires tournaments really exciting and captivating for these viewers, for me personally as a caster, you help me learn and try to be a better player. So I appreciate all of you taking your time on Easter Sunday to join a tournament like War Chief Club Finals. I really appreciate it.